discuter de tout ça.
Greetings, everybody, and welcome to Variant Edition's new releases show. My name is Brandon. I am here solo this week because Danica is on assignment. So a couple weekends ago, there was the Canadian Independent Bookstore extravaganza, a day, and a lot of the Edmonton local bookstores came together and made a passport. And there's being like a little bit of a roundtable, the discussion of things that could be done for next year and how things can be adjusted, taking place or just having taken place at Daisy Chain. So she is there doing that for the business. And yeah, we're going into this week feeling pretty good. Hi, Bryce. How's it going? Hope everybody's doing okay. We've got a nice stack here today. Not a whole lot of number ones, but a whole lot of new graphic novels, which is very exciting. So we're going to talk about a bunch of things today, but I wanted to put out some of this energy out there. This is from a Twitter that I found. A young lady from, well, clearly, Great Britain, has encountered capitalism in a hard sense. And so we're going to let her bring forth the energy that's going to fuel us for this show today.
What's just happened?
So, there's an ice cream van there selling just 2 ice creams with 2 chewing gums in it.
Yeah.
For bloody £9 for 2 of them.
£9 for 2?
Yeah, £9. That is going to get nowhere. The one that comes on my street is either £1 a piece or £2. That is going to get nowhere with that.
No, he ain't, is it?
No, he ain't.
That's well bad, isn't
Yeah, you
it?
should know. And he only does bloody card. Stood there with my cash. Bloody hell.
That's well bad, isn't it?
Bloody well bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, bet he can hear me.
So I love the little bit at the end where she turns around, yells at him, and goes, "Bet he can hear me." Whoop. That's the energy that I'm taking into the next few weeks. A righteous indignation on all the things that are happening to us. I was listening to a roundtable of a lot of brilliant comic shop owners that happened at C2E2 in Chicago a few weeks back. And Katie Pride, who runs Books with Pictures in Portland, was on the panel, and she talked about how one of the biggest threats to your local comic stores right now aren't actually like, oh, no one's putting out good product, because a lot of people are putting out amazing product. The biggest threat to your local comic store right now are these giant companies who are trying to suck out the marrow of all of us, increasing prices on everything just to live. And because we're all trying to keep up with this, there's not a whole bunch of money or time to spare, as we're all struggling to keep up in a lot of ways. So that young lady's energy really spoke to me. I'm here doing some work, running a small business, just trying to survive, and the world is in what I like to call the crumbles. where all these things are kind of breaking a little bit. What can we do about it? Except for reach out to each other and help each other out, and come together on smaller scales to share and our skills and to share our kindness and to really build each other up. So I bet they can bloody hear me. I just love that so much. Anyways, before we get to Stack 2, a little bit of news this week, I guess. Danica and I were nominated for an Eisner Award. That's the comics industry's Oscars, basically, for best comics journalism / periodical for the indirect market that we do on Substack. And at Comics Beat, you can go to comicsbeat.com and look up the indirect market. You can find a lot of in-depth articles there, and you can go to the indirectmarket.substack.com, where you can read a lot of more interstitial bits and thoughts. Obviously, there's been a few gaps. Last year, I was grieving a couple losses. And this year, we were just trying to keep the shop running without a full location, which is a lot of fun to do. But yeah, apparently the panel of judges this year saw fit to nominate our writing, which is really cool. And that has been really exciting. In addition to being able to open in our new location, we are slowly getting things landed there. And we've got a couple rooms fully open now, which is good. And we're, slowly filling those rooms up with stuff. There is the Dungeon of Deals room, where you can go in and get 50% off the last ticketed price on all the books that are there. And we keep restocking that Dungeon of Deals room. Says your t-shirt is just is a squirrel just trying to get a nut. Actually, it's a chipmunk hunk. As you can see, he's got a bunch of abs. And he's getting his Swolverine on. So yeah, that's the interesting stuff happening with us. I don't really have much else other than I added a sound effect somewhere. I don't know where it is. I think it's this
If
one.
the men find out we can shapeshift, they're going to tell the church.
Nope, not that one. It was this one.
Aside from my own actions, what did I do to deserve this?
I really like that one.
Aside from my own actions, what did I do to deserve this?
I'm going to use that in the future. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, folks. It's time to get to the wonderful stack. We're starting off with Kickstarter edition that you can find at our store. It is of a super, super gorgeous book. And I'm just pulling up some stuff here to help show off the book. So, With Wolf is being published by Vault. And it is a beautiful looking edition that comes signed by the creators. And the art in this is gorgeous. This cover has fancy foil effects on it. It's a little shiny, which I really like. With Wolf is an original folklore myth telling the story of Charity Bjornsdottir, a young woman from 1860s Montana who spent her days in the woods with her closest friend, a local wolf she calls Silver Slash. Charity is soon to marry the most handsome man in her small village, the mercurial yet beloved Paul Skeld. As her husband isolates her from Silver Slash, she begins to feel a call to the wilds, for it is there that her true destiny awaits. So I'm going to start trying to show everybody some more stuff from our website, because our website also likes to show you all cool preview pages. So this is of the regular addition to Woof Wolf. I have not been able to make the special shinies on there with pictures and whatnot. Though you can order on there. And as you can see, it has some absolutely gorgeous art. Very reminiscent of, I would say, Monstrous. And I'm really excited to read more than a few pages of this one. It definitely leans heavy on the myth element. And so if you are in the mood for just sort of like an absolutely gorgeous Nordic mythic style story, we have that for you. And as we said, this Kickstarter exclusive edition is shiny. And you know what? Because we like you all, our limited stock will be the regular cover price that the regular edition is. So you get a little bit of shiny, you get a little bit of signed, you get a wonderful story, and for no more than buying the regular edition. Pretty cool. For number ones this week, we have the return of Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, because they're still trying to make Ghost Spider happen. Spider-Gwen. This sees her gallivanting around the 616 universe more fully. Stephanie Phillips has taken over the writing, and Frederica Manson is doing the art with Matt Milla doing the colors. This also comes with a gorgeous Jenny Frison cover, which I really like. And I've always enjoyed Spider-Gwen stories. They tend to be a lot lighter. They tend to be a lot wilder than your regular Spider-Man stories these days. And I just like the energy that comes in this book. We also have The Butcher's Boy. This one from Dark Horse. And here there's a little bit of a description. Landry Walker and Justin Greenwood. I love these creators. Landry Walker is someone I knew from doing some comics and stuff that appeared in Disney Adventure magazine, and they were always a lot of fun and very imaginative. And he's been doing some more horror stuff over the years. And so this is absolutely leaning into that. And Justin Greenwood has hopped through a lot of different projects. One of the latest that he was a part of was Stumptown. He was one of the artists on Stumptown. You might know that from the TV show that happened for a year before COVID happened, and the second season was canceled due to issues with COVID and whatnot, which sucks because it was amazing, great Private Eye story. And those comics are awesome. Anyways, we have The Butcher's Boy. Deep within the back roads of the Pacific Northwest, an entire town fell victim to the brutal cleaver of the Butcher of La Perdita. But that was more than 100 years ago, and in that time, the generational nightmare of murder and meat has been reduced to morbid clickbait folklore for bored travelers to share online. And yet some say the butcher still haunts the streets at night, seeking fresh meat for his larder. A true Lovecraftian horror, or just the feverish dreams of a mentally unstable serial killer? 6 friends on a road trip are about to find out. And I'm pretty sure, just given the cover and the ominous tone of this, that it's going to be fine. And nothing's going to go wrong, and all of these 6 travelers are going to live. We have the 50th issue of this volume of Amazing Spider-Man doing a big story. I wanted to show off this cover because I think it's really neat. It is a bit of a culmination of a story that's been brewing, because Norman Osborn's been pretty okay lately, but is he going to stay okay? This cover might hint to a certain direction I got itchy nose. I don't like that, especially when it happens. Oh, I just got a notification, calendar notification, that Canadian Independent Bookstore Day has been added to our calendar for April 26th next year. So it looks like we're going to continue the 1-2 punch of Canadian Independent Bookstore Day on the last week of April and Free Comic Book Day on the first week of May. Pretty wild, honestly. Next up, we've got White Boat. This is from Scott Snyder and Francesco Francavilla. And it is from Distillery, which is why you get this big boy format. It's looking all big. It is for all the boys and girls and non-binary sweeties. A little descript for the fine folks out there. White boats are the mega yachts that the super rich use to traverse the globe floating islands where your every desire can be fulfilled. And getting invited on board one should be a dream come true. That is until the crew traps and transports you to a remote island where secret cults have existed for millennia, working on something called the Human Project. Does the white boat ship you to paradise or sink you into hell on earth? White Boat reunites Scott Snyder, the visionary writer who defined comic book dread with witches and introduced Batman to a terrifying cerebral era, with modern noir master Francesco Francavilla for a white-knuckle descent into Lovecraftian maritime madness. Join us all for Maritime Madness. Sean Distillery is doing collections. The first collection has been solicited and final orders have gone by for Somna. They're doing them in hardcovers to start out with, that I believe do end up being more expensive than the single issues. So I'm not sure when they're going to get around to the softcover collections or what the price point of them will be, but they do have those happening. All right, we've got Little Booze on the Loose. It's an Ikeboo book. This is from Hazy Dell. We love Hazy Dell. Reveal a world of rambunctious little ghosts simply by turning the page. Now, here's the thing I really like. Keep an eye on that image right there. So as you go through the story, different pages will do different reveals. And it is really freaking cool. Hazy Dell is always putting out some amazing stuff for a lot of little cryptids and spooky kids. Ikeboo book readers are part of the story, transforming each scene. With every turn of the page, uncover dozens of silly little boos as they cause mischief in everyday places, including the subway, the farm, the classroom, and the movie theater. Yeah, the deluxe hardcovers, which are direct market exclusive and print to order. So basically the orders that retailers place are the only orders they're getting, are very expensive. They're like $80 American or something like that. But they do have a few little extras. We're also going to talk about, the stack is a little bit larger this week because we were not on last week as we were trying to put the store together. And, that was a long trip. And there was a lot to do, and there's still a lot to do. But the store can at least run now, which is good. We have Barkham Asylum. Folks who went to Free Comic Book Day might have seen a little preview of this Barkham Asylum. And this is basically about, well, some good boys and girls. Who's a good boy? Jester is, or he wants to be. Maybe he is. He's the Joker's dog, so of course he's funny, but his sense of humor is about to be put to the test. Because when the super villains of Gotham get thrown into Arkham, their hench pets go to the maximum security pound known as Barkham Asylum. Being the clown prince of crime's dog doesn't win Jester any friends behind bars, especially after he gets a tough-talking stray cat named Penny tossed into lockup with him. But have plenty of time to make friends and put on a talent show. I love the DZ all ages stuff. And Hugh Mercado has been doing a lot of really good work for them, and some of his own creator-owned comics like Chunky, which has been really good. We have Food School, which rude only has pull quotes on the back, but the pull quotes are from a lot of really cool people like Nadia Shamus, who co-authored Squire, and Lucy Byron, who did Thieves. Thieves is one of my favorite books. It's kind of like lesbian Scott Pilgrim if Scott Pilgrim wasn't such a little jerk and, you know, was good at life, which he is not. I'm going to see if I can vamp a little bit so that I can find some actual information about this book. Hey, thanks Variant Edition website for being one of the best comic book store websites you will see. A 20-something college dropout enrolls in a full-time outpatient program for eating disorder recovery. As they change their relationship with food, their relationships with people change as well. Olive's post-secondary education isn't what they planned. And instead of college, they spend 5 days a week, 8 hours a day at what Olive calls Food School, a full-time outpatient program for eating disorder recovery, where they learn, talk, and cry about eating disorders as part of a supportive group. Intensely committed to recovery, Olive confronts the secretive, self-destructive, and sometimes tragically comedic nature of their illness, while struggling with the complexities of modern mental health care. With support and perspective from their roommate, a fellow patient, and their partner, Olive learns to open up about their abusive relationship with food and exercise, and finds ways to cope with the reality of living in a society that actively encourages disordered eating. In this fictional slice of life comic, Jade Armstrong, Scout is not a band kid. Oh, Scout isn't a band kid. That's one of my absolute favorite books. It's great for band geeks. Oh, geez. Explores the ways our relationships with food impact our connections with the people we love. So also, because it's on our website, we have some preview pages for you. And so you can kind of see what it looks like, what the experience is going to be. So if you ever go to variantedmonton.com, you will be able to usually taste a lot of the graphic novels that we're talking about. Taste might have not have been a great turn of phrase, considering I'm talking about a book about eating disorders. Solid work, Brandon. No notes. Let's follow this up with Karate Prom. It's the new Kyle Starks book. He actually originally did a shorter version of this for Free Comic Book Day years ago. What he'd do for Free Comic Book Day is he'd get a weird concept and then he'd just kind of write a little something and send it out for free. Well, now Karate Prom's a whole ding dang deal. And you can get your hands on it right now. Don the Dragon Wilson Jones is the finest fighter Benjamin Harrison High School has ever produced. But when he enters the ring against Lincoln High's Sam Stedman, it's love at first knockout. Unfortunately, Sam has a jerky ex-boyfriend, and Don has a seriously terrifying ex-girlfriend. Like global crime cartel terrifying. From prom to the after party to graduation, Don and Sam and an increasingly eclectic cast of supporting oddballs will have to fight their way through a gauntlet of opponents, all in the name of love and punching. And did we mention the punching? Heck yeah. Let's go. That's exciting. All right. Kyle Starks, you absolute siren of a man. We also have a new version of Gleam. Gleam was originally a Piao book. Piao was one of the small presses that we had that wrapped up operations a little bit ago, although they are apparently still continuing to function as Piao 2, and we'll be doing another X-Mag this year, X-Mag 5, which I'm very excited about. Anyways, Gleam. It had originally come out from Piao. We had it in store. It's been gone for a long time. And now it is back, baby, from Drawn and Quarterly. Enter a future of defiant vitality. Are kindness and violence as distant from one another as we tell ourselves? As vignettes unspool in proximity to our own social realities, Gleam jolts the imagination and invites us to expand into the outer layers of possibility. A bored young boy is forced to confront his mortality and ego after inadvertently triggering a psychedelic existential crisis. Oil is thicker than water in a story of a group of friends dead set on saving their cyborg partner from permanent shutdown, no matter how long it takes. Hype Williams' belly meets the enter the void in a secret underground rave where anything is possible. With the right stimulants, and the characters in these 3 interconnected stories burst across frames until they are practically stepping off the page. I did read the original release of Gleam. It is amazing. I like what they've done with this new edition, which has this nice little kind of wraparound dust jacket that kind of shows off a great interior. I'm very excited for more folks to be able to experience this book. Another book getting a brilliant re-release is The Hobtown Mysteries, Volume 1, The Case of the Missing Men. This was a black and white, small published Canadian book that had come out over the years, and it is outstanding. It is basically like weird magical realism Nancy Drew. Like some weird stuff happens in this, and the absolute feel of it is brilliant. As I read the back, we're going to have some preview pages pop up here. So you can see the sort of like style it's doing here. Welcome to Hobtown, a charming bleak village, population 2006, in the hinterlands of Nova Scotia, 1996. It's an easy place to get bored or depressed if you don't have to make your own fun. Hobtown Regional High's top girl, Dana Lance, runs the Teen Detective Club, a registered after-school program, who make it their business to investigate each and every one of their town's bizarre occurrences. Their small world of missing pets and shed fires is turned upside down when real-life kid adventurer and globetrotter Sam Finch comes into town and enlists them in their first bona fide case, the search for his missing father. Something strange is going on, and no one in Hobtown will talk about it. It turns out Sam's dad is the 6th man to go missing this year. In the course of the teens' investigations, their terrifying... In the course of the teens' investigations, their seemingly innocuous hometown explodes into a terrifying world of pagan secret societies, psychic assaults, possible wee man sightings, and homebrew behavior modifications gone horribly wrong. The rot runs deep in Hobtown, and it's up to the teen detectives and their associates to stay alive long enough to crack the case of the missing men. Pretty freaking cool. Sean is a big fan of Kyle Starks. I am too. I like that guy. We have Deep Cuts, a volume of all types of different jazz stories that Kyle Higgins and Joe Clark put together with an array of different artists, including Junie Ba and Toby Cypress, who I absolutely love. Oh, and Ramon K. Perez. Those are the 3 that I really know and I really like. But all of the art in this book is absolutely outstanding. New Orleans, 1917, a clarinet player meets his hero. Kansas City, 1940, a young girl investigates the mystery of her father's lost love of music. Los Angeles, 1977, a band embarks on a world tour that may be their last. Join these creators for an anthology of stories that weave tales of struggle, joy, and hope through the history of jazz. And the art in this is absolutely stunning. I am so excited for people to experience this, especially folks who really like music and jazz. When I was younger, I was in the school jazz band. I was in a lot of the school bands, honestly, and have a great appreciation for the medium and the different things it did. Shortly after I moved to Edmonton, there was a jazz band that I was part of for a very short time. And I say a very short time because all of their I believe all of their practices were like right as I would get off work at Wizards, when I worked at Wizards, and I'd have to like book over there, and I would always be late, and I couldn't make concerts and whatnot, and just came a little too much. But yeah, that was probably the last time I was really playing the trombone, which I really love. We have the first paperback volume. No, wait. This is the second paperback volume. No, it's the first paperback volume. Finally, the first paperback volume of Poison Ivy, the series that G. Willow Wilson and Marcio Takara have been doing. This has been an absolute outstanding series. It has been what turned into from a 6-issue miniseries into a full ongoing story that's about to reach issue 25 around here soon. It is kind of like a body horror story, and absolutely wonderful. G. Willow Wilson is co-creator of Ms. Marvel, weaves her magic here in a different kind of story. Pamela Isley has a lot of different things in her been a lot of different things in her life: a living god, a supervillain, an activist, a scientist, and a dead woman. In a new body that she didn't ask for, with a new renewed sense of purpose, Ivy leaves Gotham and sets out to complete her greatest work, a gift to the world that will heal the damage dealt to it by ending humanity. We in trouble, folks. Also out in the past couple of weeks, this edition of Scrapper. This edition also signed. We've got a couple signed copies, basically. Scrapper is a good dog, adopted by good people. And sure, he spends his nights patrolling his post-apocalyptic metropolis with his buddy Tank, protecting its citizens from the city's totalitarian overlords. But everyone needs a hobby, right? And when a catastrophe sends Scrapper's world spiraling out of control, he will need to rally the city's critters, strays, and undesirables to save both themselves and the humans all around them. Second to last is a beautiful deluxe edition of truly my favorite Batman story of all time, Batman the Black Mirror. This is from Scott Snyder with Francesco Francavilla, the folks who did White Boat, with a lot of art from Jock as well. It was the three of them who really ushered Batman through some of the last stories before the New 52 started. And this features Dick Grayson as Batman during this run. It is absolutely outstanding. I recommend this to everybody. We do still have softcover copies because I always keep this in stock. And it is a book that I recommend to anybody who has friends who are just like, well, they really enjoy Batman and they have a lot of the bigger stories. And I'm looking to get them something really good, but a little off the beaten path. This is where I send them, because a lot of people don't have those ones. They have like the Year One, and they have like Long Halloween, and they have Dark Knight Returns and that kind of thing. But this I offer to everybody because it's just so wonderful. It also explores the differences that Gotham acts as a sort of black mirror, where it gives reflections back to the people who are trying to protect it. In this case, a lot of these villains are darker reflections of the things that mean the most to Dick Grayson and his good heart and his qualities and all this kind of stuff, whereas the previous villains were reflections of Bruce's version of Batman, all that kind of thing. It's a really good exploration of the character and Gotham, and fresh villains, and some of the most tense moments that I've felt reading a comic in some of those last issues. And finally, we have Winnie the Pooh, art from Travis Dandro. Lynn Ward graphic novel prize winner Travis Dandro expands the world of Winnie the Pooh's 100-acre wood in all directions, creating stunning full-page tableaus where Pooh and everyone's favorite characters, Piglet, Eeyore, Owl, and of course Christopher Robin, romp, argue, fail, and love, indebted but not beholden to the unforgettable pen and ink drawings of E.H. Shepard. This addition to the canon of timeless literature for all ages encompasses all the adventures from the classic first Winnie the Pooh volume. Excite them all. All right, folks. Bebop, boop, boop, boop. I'm not gonna do the magic mirror tonight because I'm done after a couple really long weeks and long months. Because we basically did Canadian Bookstore Day going into Free Comic Book Day weekend, going into moving the store, going into setting things up, and I think yesterday was my best day of rest that I had, and I still went in and worked a solid 6 hours at the store as well. So and I only had a chance to nibble on a few things before I started, so I'm hungry, and so I'm gonna wrap things up here. Join us next week. We're gonna have some fairly big news for folks about the future of the store. Rest assured, especially with this move and everything, the store is not gonna go anywhere. But we are going to have a bit of changes going forward, and for the health of everybody, honestly. So we'll talk more about that in the future. Store hours are going to maintain the same, and yeah, but we're gonna be doing a little something for the next little while. All right. So, hey Thomas, good to know. I'm excited for you to see it, and it's not completely landed, so there's a lot of work to be done. But yeah, we're so happy to have all of our stuff in one place and to be moving forward finally after one heck of a start to the year. So thank you all for joining us today. Danica will return next week, and we will see you all then. Bye.